Alright, I'm going to show you how to complete foundation plan number 1, not using AutoCAD but using Revit. When we click on the foundation plan number 1, we have a 30 by 23 foot house with a 15 foot, a little 3-foot indent in here. So we're going to be drawing these walls first and then putting a foundation, or I'm sorry, a footing underneath those walls. It says we got 10-inch concrete walls. We might just go ahead and use the default of 12 inches. So if I open up my Revit, we are going to, first of all, we need to go to the site plan. So when I'm in my site plan, now I'm going to come up to my wall and I'm going to click on my foundation -12 concrete wall. And I'm just going to start typing in what we were doing before. It was 30 by 23 by 15 by 3 by 15 and bump it up. So there is my foundation to my answer to the drawing. Now it is 12-inch concrete and we'll just go with it for now. Yes, we could hit edit type and change it to 10 if we needed to. The next thing we're going to do is put a footing on here. So we're going to go up to structure, and right here underneath the wall we got a wall foundation. It says creates hosted by wall, so now we're going to create that blue footing underneath there. And as soon as I click here, it's probably going to give me an error for visibility. It says, yeah, it says none of the elements are visible in the floor plan. You may want to turn them on. I'm just going to go ahead and go around all my walls. So I just did all 5 of my walls right there in my footing and floor plan, but now I need to be able to go in and see my visibility and graphics. So I went to View, Visibility and Graphics, and I think if I scroll down here I saw one that was Structural Foundations. It says Hidden Lines in there, so I'm going to click on that Structural Foundations, hit Apply and OK. And right away then you see here's my foundation wall and there's my footing. So if I come into my 3D view, you'll see that I've got my footings and my foundation wall. And the next thing we're going to do, if we go back to the drawing or the website, we need a steel beam in the middle of the foundation. So basically we're going to put a beam from the left hand side to the right hand side. And we said that we had some beam pockets in there and then a beam going across. So as I open up my Revit, we're going to come in here, I believe it's underneath Structure, Wall, and a Reveal. Extrude the profile line will pass. So basically what we're trying to do is we're trying to create a reveal on this wall. And I made one huge beam pocket. I'm just going to drag it in and drag it in. So there's my 8-inch beam pocket right there. I think I would have to probably make it a little bit deeper. I think it defaults to a -6 inches, and I think it's going to be a -12 inches. And then it bumps back. So we'll just keep it small for now. Let me undo that so it's back up to the top. There we go. So we've got my beam pocket on that side. We're going to come back, then we're going to do an I-beam. Add individual beams, a chain of beams along a path of grids. We're going to click there, and I'm just going to go from that side. I'm going to pull it straight across. Maybe it wouldn't probably hurt to get on my top view here. Beam, the back middle of that beam, straight across. Take a look at it now, it's leveled up. So now there's the beam for my floor. We could put some footings in there underneath here with regards to like our poles. Listen, I add a footing or a pile. Yep, so we're going to add that. No structural foundation families loads in private. I'm going to take that back. I'm going to say no. I'm just going to draw it in there. Let's just say we're 2 foot. Oh, I'm drawing a wide flange. Give me a second. We're going to go ahead and skip the footing and foundation for the poles at this point in time, and we're going to go ahead and put a floor on top of this piece. So I'm going to go up to Home, Floor. I'm going to go ahead and be able to look at it from the top view. Make sure I go all the way on around the outside. Whoops. Hit the check mark. Now it's going to ask me, of course, I screwed that little corner up a second ago. So up here, that little fill button, bam, bam. It's going to ask me, would I like to attach the walls to the floor's level to attach to its bottom? I'm going to say yes. It did give me an error for the reveal. I just hit delete elements. So what that has done at this point is it did go ahead and allow the wall itself to be separate from then the floor. If you would have hit no, the wall would have been on top, or the floor would have been inside of the wall. Now notice the biggest issue at this point then is our beam. So we have to go over here to our beam and do a start level offset of -1 and an end level offset at -1. That bumps it underneath there. So if I come in here and select my wall, go to my glasses and hide the element, at this point then we should see the beam lines up perfectly with the top or the bottom of my floor joist there. Come back down to my glasses and reset. Now if I wanted to continue on with this, and at this point this has all been done in the site plan. So I'm going to go into level 1 now. I will draw my wall. The first thing you got to make sure you do, and it's the easiest thing to forget, is to change this back to what we're using. I'm just going to go ahead and go to a generic 6-inch wall, like we had a 2x6 wall instead of a 2x4 wall. Instead of doing a wall center line, I'm going to do finish face to the exterior. So then as I go around, my walls then should be to that outside. I don't think I took my unconnected height at 20 foot off there though. So the easiest way to fix that is to highlight everything. Go to walls. Change that back to 8 foot. Let's check out my view now. So now I've got everything lined up. So I do have a footing and the foundation wall. I do got my floor joist. I do have my walls. So everything is lined up. Everything's looking good. On the assignment for the official foundation plan, we were going to throw some windows in here as well. So we could just go back and go to a window. And I could drop in a fixed window here and here. Now, pretty much the only issue is we may or may not have windows that big. They'd probably be all the way to the top. And if we wanted to take out or make those windows a different size, and I'm going to do that. We'll go to the edit type. I don't want a 4-foot window. I'm just going to go for maybe like a 1 foot 6 window tall. That's kind of like your small windows that are up top, or they're in your basements of your houses. Most of them anyway, just to give a little bit of air and stuff into the house. So now at this point, I've got footing, foundation, wall. I got some windows and stuff in there, and I'm building that house right on up from the basement up. We got a couple more minutes left here. Let me see if I can put a floor slab in. We're going to try to put a floor slab in here with me just going off the cuff here. So the first thing I think I need to do is go into my site plan which is where the floor will be at. And then when I come into the structure, there is a slab button here. There's a foundation slab or an edge slab. I want the foundation slab. It gives me the normal boxes that I have. I'm not 100% sure what that inside small one is, but I'm going to go ahead and just go around the inside corners of my wall and see if it automatically gives it to me or not. Let's go back to my 3D view here. Looks like it offset it up. That didn't give it to me in the basement. That little speckles there means that it's concrete. So if I select there, it says foundation slab. Well, I'm going to do it a height offset of -12 because that's where my walls were. And that put it right there where I want. So now I got a concrete floor, foundation, footing, foundation, wall, etc., etc. I think the next thing we're going to talk about here, either tomorrow or the next day, is how to put the topography around the outside of it to get it to look like a nice looking house.